November 11th became a national holiday beginning in 1938. Veterans Day pays tribute to all American veterans, living or dead, but especially gives thanks to living veterans who served their country honorably during war or peacetime. Over the past several years, CHS has honored and recognized veterans for their service and dedication. Today, we invite you to pause for a moment of silence to observe all veterans for their sacrifice and commitment made for our nation.
Now, if you will all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still
Good afternoon. Americans have had a long history of honoring our war dead. In May of 1864, Mary J. Greene and her sister removed Confederate dead from her plantation yard in Resaca to what we now call the Resaca Confederate Cemetery. By the end of the Civil War, women's organizations in the South were decorating the graves of war dead. In 1868, General John Logan ordered that flowers be placed on the graves of Union and Confederate soldiers at Arlington National Cemetery. Now, this day was in the spring and was known as Memorial Day or Decoration Day. Some 50 years or so later, the sons and the grandsons of Confederate and Union soldiers would fight side by side in the trenches of France during World War I. Over 116,000 Americans would die in this war. After the war to end all wars, President Wilson proclaimed November the 11th as Armistice Day with the following words: "To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with gratitude for victory." Now, the original concept for the celebration was a day observed with parades and public meetings and a brief suspension of business beginning at 11 a.m. Today, we know Armistice Day as Veterans Day. And today, on Veterans Day, we honor all the men and women that have served in our armed forces. We honor all men and women that are right now standing post in harm's way somewhere in the world defending the weak and the oppressed. And since history shows us that World War I was not the war to end all world wars, we also honor the 405,000 soldiers that died in World War II, the 36,500 soldiers that died in the Korean War, the 58,000 soldiers that died during the Vietnam War, the 6,280 soldiers that have died in the War on Terror, and the many, many more that have died defending freedom around the world and at home. Thank you for helping me honor our heroes.
I state your name.
I, Brian Rizzo,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God.
So help me God. You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true for the red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast or brag. But should old acquaintance be forgot, keep your eye on the grand old flag.
Freedom is Not Free by Kelly Strong. I watched the flag pass by one day. It fluttered in the breeze. A young Marine saluted it and then stood at ease. I looked at him in his uniform, so young, so tall, so proud, he'd stand out in any crowd. I thought how many men like him had fallen through the years, how many died on foreign soil, how many mothers' tears, how many pilots' planes shot down, how many died at sea, how many foxholes were soldiers' graves. No, freedom isn't free. I heard the sound of taps one night when everything was still. I listened to the bugler play and felt a sudden chill. I wondered just how many times that taps had meant amen, when a flag had draped a coffin of a brother or a friend. I thought of all the children, of the mothers and wives, of fathers, sons, and husbands with interrupted lives. I thought about a graveyard at the bottom of the sea, of unmarked graves in Arlington. No, freedom isn't free.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountain to the prairie to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago we lived, felt dawn and sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from healing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
I took the oath on March 5th, 1991. In the background, they've got Lee Greenwood playing, proud to be an American. I mean, it was this whole big thing going on. I wonder if my dad, my grandfathers felt the same way. I'm kind of continuing a tradition that my family has had to serve in the military. I left active duty in 1996. It was weird to walk away from that because when I became a soldier, especially once I'd been a couple years, I thought that's my career. This is going to be what I do until I can't do it anymore. It was hard for me because I still want to serve in another capacity. I stayed in the Guard for 3 years. When that time was up, I was full on in my police career and everything now. I took a leave of absence from work. I went back over to Afghanistan as a civilian, embedded back in a military unit. So I'm back around soldiers. I'm eating, sleeping, fighting, doing all the things that I did as a soldier, but now I'm doing it as a civilian. On September 24, 2008, we were on our way to work with the Afghan National Police, and our Humvee hit an IED. The IED blew me out of the Humvee. Things just weren't making sense. And I was like, well, why am I on the ground? Wasn't I just in a Humvee? And I'm hearing noises, and then as my senses start to kind of come back online, I realized those are gunshots. Somebody's shooting. And then I realized they're shooting at me. It was a bad day that's turned into a good life. I tried for about 1.5 years to save my legs. I averaged about a surgery a month for 14 months. So on November 3rd, 2009, I walked into the hospital and 4 days later rolled out of the hospital without any legs below the knees. It was not a hard decision because I knew what I had. I knew I had a life full of medicine and pain. That's not what I wanted for my life. I just really focused on getting up and getting moving. And it kept getting better. My life kept getting better. How do you repay the soldiers that fought to get you back? I can't, send them a check every month. So I choose to lead a good life. I choose to try to help other people. We went over to Afghanistan earlier this year. We went back. It's called Operation Proper Exit. And it was an opportunity for 5 of us that were wounded in Afghanistan to walk away on our own power. When we walked off the plane, it was tough because this time I got to walk off the plane on my own power, not wake up in the hospital later going, where am I? It's weird to think that something like this happening can lead to so many opportunities to do great things. I wouldn't be here today if those guys didn't fight to get me back. Those are personal heroes of mine. For anybody that's going to come in and take the oath right now, I just want to say thank you. Things would be different without the veterans. The second we don't have veterans anymore, we don't have a country anymore.
Freedom is not free. It comes with a price, by courageous men and women making the ultimate sacrifice, giving us the gift to be free from all fear, for giving us hope, making fright disappear. With strength and honor tall they stand, protecting and ensuing justice to defend our land. The eagle flies, the flag waves, chanting pride, dignity, and truth. But let us remember, our freedom is true, due to those who bled and bleed, red, white, and blue. Thank you, veterans.
My full name is Jack Leroy Tuller. This is 2 weeks after D-Day. I go back to the airstrip and land after seeing this horrible situation. And the commander says, Jack, don't play tonight. We have one German sniper still left. And he's got a sound aimer. In other words, he doesn't have to see you in the apple orchards of Normandy, but he can hear your trumpet, and you're going to be a perfect target. So I said, I've got to play. I've got to get rid of my stresses. He said, well, it's your funeral. And I thought to myself, how can I stop him from playing or shooting? I thought to myself, that German sniper is as scared and lonely as I am. So I thought, I'll play his love song. I played it all the way through and he didn't fire. The next morning I was getting ready to go out on a combat mission. Here came the military police up from the beaches of Normandy, Omaha Beach. And they said, "Who played that trumpet last night?" I said, "I did." I had this in a little canvas bag in my cockpit tied to my seat parachute. I took it on every combat mission. I figured if I ever got shot down, I could play the prison guard's favorite tune, get an extra bar of soap for my shower. So I took my trumpet, I jumped out of my cockpit, got in the Jeep, went down to the Normandy, Omaha Beach. And there was the German sniper. He was 19 years old, dressed like a French peasant to cloak his role as a sniper. And he's behind a barbed wire and around 60 prisoners that were getting ready to go to England. And he saw my trumpet, so he knew I was the one. And he burst into tears. I'll never forget this. He was on his knees. And he says, "I couldn't fire last night. You played the song that my fiancée in Germany and I loved. And I was looking forward to going to Germany and marrying her. So I thought of her and my mother and dad and my brothers and sisters." Well, that's what I was thinking of. So he stuck his hand through the barbed wire fence, and I shook the hand of the enemy. He was no enemy. He was a scared kid like me. Both of us are doing what we were told to do. I had no hatred for him. I had no hatred for the German fighter pilot. I didn't like what he stood for. I couldn't understand how anybody could live in a country that took away their freedom.